What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. My name is Sebastian Lemke, aka LampyYGO. You know me from casting a bunch of YCS events or the European Championship, and today we're here to talk about the World Championship, the most prestige event of the entire season happening last weekend. It was a very intense tournament with 28 players from all over the world entering, and we are going to break down the action of the entire 2 days of playing. So we had the TCG OCG event with 28 players, as I just said, and there was also, of course, the Master Duel event with 8 teams consisting of 3 players each, and we're going to talk about, and yeah, there was also Duel Links, but I'm not that much into Duel Links, so we are going to focus on TCG, OCG, and Master Duel, and we are starting with the TCG OCG portion, and the round 1 feature match on Saturday immediately then showed Po Jiang versus Kazuya Sakamoto, as we see here. And I was really surprised to see Pearly being brought into the tournament by Mr. Po Jiang, who's a really fantastic player. He got second place at the Oceanics qualifiers this year that brought him to the World Championship. And also, of course, he is the YCS champion with Striker back in the day. And he decided to bring a deck where I had no understanding how you could even potentially play this in this World Championship environment. Even though he won round number 1, it didn't really look satisfying. It didn't really look good at all. I have to say, I don't really understand why he went with that deck. He won round number 1, but from the 6 more rounds that were to come, he only won 1 more round. So in the end, it did not really turn out to be a great pick. I don't know why he decided to be on the deck, but it did not work out very properly. Then, round number 2, we have Yoho An versus Paulie Aronson. As you can already see in the picture, I think Yoho is just not supposed to have featured matches anymore. He shall not have any featured matches anymore because as soon as he's entering the featured match stage, this man gets feather dusted. It was happening against Jessica Robinson in top 4 of the European Championship, and there we have our now to come world champion, Paulie Aronson, also resolving feather duster versus him. It was a pretty quick 2-0 in game 1. Paulie went first. In game 2, the feather duster coming in very clutch for him. So that was a pretty impressive 2-0, and already showed us a little bit that Dragon Link might be the call for the event. And also, I think in general, it's kind of interesting to see that a lot of the players that still had their deck available to them from the qualifiers kind of stuck to it. Like Yoho played Labyrinth, Jonas Koscher played Labyrinth, Jessica Robinson played Rika, or for example, a lot of the Asians which qualified with Tier also still played Tier. And the players that brought Kashtira to the qualifiers, they had to rethink and they had to come up with better solutions to the format. And I think they did really well at that. Like a lot of the players that picked Kashtira for the qualifiers ended up playing something else because they had no other choice than playing something else. And a lot of the solutions were really good. We're going to see more people which pivoted off to different decks and they were really successful with it. Then, I already talked about that is going to be our round 3 match, and Kaijiro Yamashita brought a really interesting deck with the Tri-Brigade Sprite deck, and I honestly think this one was kind of nice. I kind of enjoyed watching him putting up that really big field. I think it was a pretty solid call for the event, and we already see Juan Mateo Augusto Renteria Pastor for the first time in action, who will be one of our finalists for the event, and he just decided to bring Go Second Sword Soul, and he did not even play cards like Lightning Storm or something, or at least we did not see those, so I was kind of surprised by that because Labyrinth was expected to be one of the best decks in the tournament. And then you just bring a Go Second deck into a deck that can set up multiple trap cards on their first turn. I thought that was scary. It still worked out like a charm for him. He was really successful getting it all the way into the finals for Peru. So huge shoutouts to him. We saw him having really good opening hands a lot of the time. But there in that case, he just played versus this insane end field of Keijiro Yamashita. And then we will be moving on to round number 4. And here we have the first OCG battle, pure OCG battle between Jiang Hyun Soo and Santantana Rungno Pansunski. Sorry if I murdered his name there. But this was another Dragon Link deck. So we see, yeah, the tendency. There's a lot of Labyrinth. There's a lot of Dragon Link as well, at least from the stream. And also the first Tier Gamba appearing on stream. And it was in Jeong Hyun Soo's hands. And Yeah, there were multiple people entering the tier, but I can already tell you none of them made the top cut, so I don't know whether it was the best call overall. Still, they wanted to showcase it. They had fun showcasing it, and I mean, it is a very fun deck to watch. I will not take that away from them. And then in round number 5, finally, we have the first EU battle. We have Jonas Koschel versus Oliver Newton, and Oliver Newton really decided to bring freaking ABC to the World Championship. This man is known to play ABC. He has played ABC in the past for so much. He always reinvented the deck. He's basically the face of ABC for Europe. But here in this specific tournament, it did not work out as well. Jonas pretty easily just won this match, and they were moving on with a 3-2 record. And Oliver kind of was out after the match already, was really upset afterwards as well. That did not really work out too well for him. It was a bold call by him, though, to play ABC for this event, so shoutouts to Oliver as well. Then in round number 6, a phase we have already seen. This is just Jeong Hyun-soo again versus Jeremy Mitchell, and Jeremy Mitchell on the Vanquish Soul strategy. So that was one of the persons that I was talking about. He qualified with Kashtira, and now he had to reinvent himself for the World Championship. He had to get a new deck, and he had to make it work. And he found this deck. He found the Vanquish Soul strategy, and he made top 8 with it. He's not going to win here versus Tier, but overall, he had a really good showing, had a really good performance, and he did really his best. And no, wait, it was not even only top 8, it was even top 4. He made it all the way into semis, so that's like really strong. Really good showcase by Jerry Mitchell, very strong player, and another superb performance. And then, this one was a little bit weird. This is our last round feature match, round number 7, and they decided to just feature 2 players that were pretty certainly going to be in top cut. We saw in the end that Santiago and Enzo both made top cut, and Enzo is a clever guy from the USA, and he was like, my deck is kind of an underdog deck. It's a Mathmech, which nobody really expected to see, and therefore I'm just going to scoop twice to not reveal any information about my deck. I don't want the others to have additional information about this deck, therefore I'm not going to reveal any information. So he just basically scooped twice into the Dragon Link deck of Santiago, who ended up making the finals of the tournament as well. So that was kind of smart by Enzo, but for the featured match, it wasn't that great. It was kind of unfortunate for the featured match. But yeah, this was the last round of Swiss. And then we got the top 8 announcement. And in the top 8, there was not a singular player from the OCG. For the first time ever, 0 players from the OCG. Only players from Latin America, Europe, and from North America were represented. That was insane. Gabriel Susi from France, first place after Swiss with Rika. Jessica Robinson also up there, also with Rika. So 2 Rika decks in top 8. Then Santiago is going to make it to top 8. He even made it to the semifinals afterwards. Dragon Link, of course, our new world champion, Paulie Aronson, also on the Dragon Link deck. So also 2 Dragon Link strategies. Then Enzo was actually not the only one bringing Mathmech, but also Steven Santoli bringing the Mathmech deck. So we had 2 Mathmech decks in there as well. Both of them ended up losing in top 8. And then we had the one Sword Soul Enjoyer, the Pastor, who actually made it all the way to the finals. And then also as well, the Vanquish Soul deck of Jeremy Mitchell, which made it into top 4. So that was really sick. But actually no OCG players were... That was an insane thing, and it happened for the first time ever. There we have the semifinals between Juan Mateo Agustio Renteria Pastor and Santiago. A battle of the Latin Americans there in top 4 was ended up being won by Juan Mateo. Really great performance by him. He showed us that Sword Soul maybe still be a contender for the actual top meta. He just made it work going second, then this very special World Championship environment, and Santiago just had no answers. He just had no answers. There we see it. We lose the Evil Young One on the boot sector launch, and I think Santiago is just going to scoop quickly after. He's picking up his cards and being like, yep, there's nothing I can do about this. And there we have Juan Mateo moving on to the finals of the tournament. And then in the finals, on the big stage, finally, because the first day was kind of in a smaller location where it didn't look that great, but the big stage, honestly, as a Yu-Gi-Oh enjoyer, how could you not like that? Like, watching the finals on the big stage, this is what like real Yu-Gi-Oh is about. Like, every Yu-Gi-Oh fan had to be somewhat impressed with that, right? It was actually like really insane. I loved watching it. TCG, also Master Duel. And this was then the finals between Paulie and Renzo. Not Renzo, Juan Mateo. And Paulie made it quick and easy, 2-0. Even though he got nipped, even though he got even lead, he just actually didn't really care. He just went through it, took it all down, winning the entire tournament. And there we have him getting the trophy, putting that trophy into the air. And honestly, here, that's what I'm talking about. The stage was insane. Like, this is what we, of course, would have loved to see for day one already. But at least they gave it to us for day two. And it was just enormous. Like, look at this. Like, 6 screens showcasing the new world champion. First North American world champion ever. So another piece of history has been made. That was just super, super enjoyable. And I was really happy for Paulie because he's a great player, great guy. They're also putting up the fountains. Let's go with the smog and everything. Cool and nice. But let's also not forget that there was Master Duel Worlds happening as well. And also they were playing on the stage. We have here, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, and I am, of course, a very big tier limit enjoyer, the best game of the entire finals. We had Jesse Cotton, very well known, versus Quanto Fink, our boy from the online community, grinding, winning every Challenger Cup in Europe, super powerhouse in Master Duel, super very well known for his tier limit skills, and they played a mirror match on the final stage, in the finals of the World Championship, and it was super high class. Quanto going first, actually getting max seed by Jesse, but still having free back row, and then Jesse just piloting through all of this so insanely well. This game was absolute insanity to me. It had me on the edge of my chair just watching it. I can't imagine watching this game live in the venue or something. This was just something else, and it really showcased that Master Duel right now is insanely fun. And I mean, if you are very good at the game, those guys are really good in TCG too. Like Jesse Cotton, I don't even have to mention it. And Quanta, for example, was top 4 at the Netherlands Nationals this year. So absolute legends of the game in the TCG, and also showcasing how strong they are in the Master Duel streets. Of course, also the overlay you see is kind of nice for the Master Duel stream. I like that you could also see those other games going on there on the little screens, and also, which was really huge and which personally made me think that the Master Duel World Championship actually was the biggest of the three. For me personally, if you compare the 3 World Championships that happened for Yu-Gi-Oh! This weekend, Master Duel was the big winner, because the way they made you able to watch all the games in the client was amazing. You could actually, if you wanted to, could just go into your Master Duel client and you could watch this game down here. You could watch Josh play versus Raymond Dye. You could go into this game down here. You could watch Emre versus Kamano, no problem. You could have watched them all. Like, you were able to watch every single one of those matches in the client. You could even watch the matches that were happening off stream in the client. I think that was a really big win. They animated it beautifully. Like, every single game where they went into the game was just pure joy to watch. And I think going forward, Master Duel might just be the way to go, because the production value of the Master Duel thing, just by nature, because it's a digital game, of course, was superb and really, really nice. And then, of course, let that sink in. If you are a European Yu-Gi-Oh player, or in my opinion, even a worldwide Yu-Gi-Oh player, how could you not have tears in your eyes when you see there Joshua Schmidt with his 5th time at the World Championship, having tears in his eyes, putting that trophy into the air? Absolute GOAT, absolute legend of the game, being there, of course, together with Quantel and Emre, who also did their fair share to make this title happen. I personally, I had tears in my eye as well. And look at Emre just being the nice guy that he is, putting that trophy into the air with a big smile, with a big sigh of relief, of course, after the entire match. When the short interview as well, where Josh was like, yeah, we don't know what to say, understandably so. But for real, this event, the Master Duel event, was really, really nice. I hope that we're going to have more competitive Master Duel tournaments besides only the World Championship and the Challenger Cups from now on. Like, some really cool invitationals with big stages like we have in other esports would really be appreciated. And I think this showed that it's possible, that this showed that people would enjoy it. And I totally enjoyed it myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. I I'm going to do more content on the World Championship here on my channel, but also, of course, on the TCG format in general. Shoutouts to all of you watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment to this video. Lampi YGO signing out.